Lewiston really getting buried in the snow now. This is Main Street again. We've been telling you about this all night. Look at this. I'm in the middle of it. It's completely deserted here. And take a look at the snow on the ground as well. This is actually a lane here in Main Street. Look at how much snow there is here. I mean, there's got to be at least 5 inches of snow on the ground. Of course, the good news is very light and fluffy. We want to give you a look at the scene here. First of all, you can see these hoses strung out all along the road. There are a lot of these hoses strung out, even on side streets. Look down the hill a little ways. You can see a number of officials set up, trying to beat back these flames right now.
Right now we're in the air over the U.S.-Canadian border. It's an area that Border Patrol agents call the Slash. You can see it's actually covered with snow today, and it's in between all of these trees.
These are actually parts of the old knee that the doctors have just taken out. Believe it or not, this entire procedure is only going to take about 45 minutes. Now, Mr. Nason is hoping that when he recovers from this, he'll be able to get on with things that he's been missing out on doing, like going for long walks and hunting. And he's not the only person here today who's hoping to resume his old life.
You're watching News 13 on Fox.
It's Sunday, January 3rd, and News 13 on Fox starts right now. Well, chilly temperatures, though, so it looks like that snow might just stick around for Santa and his sleigh for Christmas. Good evening. We'll have more on that weekend storm in just a minute, but first, there's still no sign of a missing snowmobiler from China. Family members of 25-year-old Francis Moulton are talking with News 13. Here's how it works. You show up with your box of stuff. You can bring up to 3 boxes. They put them in one of these things. This holds about 10 boxes, about 300 pounds of personal documents. When these get full, they've already done about 10 of these so far. This is what happens. They walk it up onto this lift here. They zoom right up in the air. Help if I put it the right way, and it goes right into this truck. Now, the good thing about this shredder is it's not like your strip shredder at home. Well, Doug, right now we are live here on Green Street. I want you to take a look. It's still a pretty active scene here at this hour. You can see this area of Green Street roped off with this yellow caution tape. Behind the tape, you can see some police officers continuing on with their investigation still at this hour, trying to piece together what led up to this double murder and the lengthy standoff. Now, as you mentioned, Rory Holland has been arrested. He has been charged with 2 counts of murder. However, in the meantime, a number of the victims' friends have been here in the area throughout the day. We met up with some of them who said they were actually here as this entire incident unfolded.
I heard the gunshots and I came out here. I was just shocked.
My friends got shot.
Strings of yellow caution tape fluttered in the morning breeze. On Green Street, these bicycles laid abandoned. Around them, police investigating an early morning double homicide that killed 19 and 25-year-old brothers Gage and Derek Green.
I was out riding my bike and I saw my friend. I rode up and he got shot, and then my other friend ran up and he got shot too, and he made it across the street.
I was right there. I was upstairs having a drink. Hair popping off. See my homeboy over there in the driveway.
I was holding my sweatshirt on his chest, and we were giving him CPR.
Police say those deadly shots were fired around 1 o'clock this morning. Police from Biddeford and Saco then surrounded the home of Rory Holland, the man believed to be a suspect in this case. What ensued was a several-hour-long standoff. Holland surrendered to police shortly after 6 o'clock. He was taken into custody, charged with 2 counts of murder. Friends of the victim say at least one of them has had run-ins with Holland in the past and had been ordered not to have any contact. For now, police are still investigating what led up to this morning's deadly incident, one that's left many people in shock.
There was really nothing he did at all that would have warranted getting shot at all, him or Derek.
Now, as we mentioned, Holland has been arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder. In the meantime, the state police have taken over the investigation of this double homicide. At the same time, the Biddeford Saco Old Orchard Beach SWAT team handled the standoff that took place here this morning. As you can see, once again, still under investigation at this hour. For now, we are live here in Biddeford. Catherine Parrotta for News 13. Back to you.
We go out, we patrol the border, north, south, west border, all of Maine.
More than 600 miles covered in dense woods and dotted with lakes and rivers. Hundreds of thousands of people cross it every year, and any one of them could be a threat to our security.
Terrorism is our primary mission.
James Peters is a Customs and Border Patrol agent. His job to spot potential terrorists or smugglers from the air, either in this helicopter or this airplane with night vision equipment.
Wind calm. Visibility 10.
alongside Peters 240 feet above the U.S.-Canadian border for an exclusive look at why these air patrols are so critical in fighting terrorism. And it didn't take us long to see why.
Someone who's a serious criminal that wants to come through isn't going to jump on the railroad bed and walk the railroad bed out to the highway to get picked up. He's going to walk through something like this. Best chance of him getting caught.
The first thing we noticed, the challenges on the ground. The deep forests and tough terrain of the northern border makes it easier for people to blend in and harder for agents on the ground to catch them.
Right now we're in the air over the U.S.-Canadian border. It's an area that Border Patrol agents call the slash. You can see it's actually covered with snow today, and it's in between all of these trees. As you can imagine, if somebody was on the ground in this area, it would take agents on the ground a while to catch up with them because they could really only get here by snowmobiles or ATVs, but the agents in the air would be able to get over them a lot more quickly.
And snowmobilers are a real challenge for agents. It's legal for them to ride the slash and can easily cross it illegally. Following the tracks is tough for agents on the ground, but a lot easier from the air.
See this one right here?
Uh-huh.
I can pick that out, and I can tell you that it's going to that red house. Whereas the agent would have to be running along it, and if it's someone that made an entry like that, well, I can jump up here in half the time that it takes them to get over here.
But it's not always that easy. Take a look at this lake. Windy weather blew most of the snow away, making it tough for agents to spot tracks. In the summer, the lake is busy with boats, making it easy for one to cross into the other country with a terrorist or drugs on board.
We have to be out here so we can actually see if a boat does make an entry. And the Border Patrol, they have boats.
And the Office of Air and Marine is proving its worth. Before 9/11, there were just 2 pilots in Maine. Now there are 6, with a second, larger helicopter on the way. But with so many miles of border snaking through such remote areas, Peters knows this mission is far from over.
The more people they send up here, the better, because we can have people out here more to be on top of it if something does come across.
Now that you've seen how they keep us safe from the air, at 11, we're going to take you back down to the ground, show you what goes on here at the port of entry. In Holton, Catherine Parrotta, News 13.
Some days it's every time you take a step, and other days it's not as bad. But
a hospital bed is an unusual place to find Wendell Nason. The former Lost Valley ski worker would much rather be outdoors, but for the past several years, his left knee has been getting in the way.
As long as you step perfectly, it's good, but you misstep and it hurts.
So Nason decided he'd had enough, choosing to have knee replacement surgery at CMMC's Orthopedic Institute. In the OR, Dr. Jeffrey Bush and his team completely removed the old knee, along with pieces of the thigh and shin bones, fitting Nason with these new parts and hopefully a better quality of life.
Now, these are actually parts of the old knee that the doctors have just taken out. Believe it or not, this entire procedure is only going to take about 45 minutes. Now, Mr. Nason is hoping that when he recovers from this, he'll be able to get on with things that he's been missing out on doing, like going for long walks and hunting. And he's not the only person here today who's hoping to resume his old life.
It hurt my back, and I started having a lot of back pain, and it got to the point that I wasn't able to get out of bed much of any, so.
Sheila Harlow had been in the hospital for 3 days. She came to the emergency room when her back pain got so bad it kept her from being able to walk. The diagnosis, a bulging vertebrae, one that she decided to have surgically repaired under the skilled hands of Dr. Mike Regan.
I don't expect I'm going to get right out of bed and zoom around today, but I'm hoping that within a few days I'll be feeling more like my old self.
In the OR, Dr. Regan and his team perform a laminectomy, removing the disc that slipped out of place, as well as removing the bone spurs and arthritis pressing on the nerves in Harlow's back. It's a surgery that can take several hours, but Harlow should be able to go home just 1 day later. It's all in a day's work at the Orthopedic Institute, work Harlow hopes will get her back on her feet and doing the things that are important.
I have 3 grandchildren that live in the Bangor area, and that's always been a big thing for me to be able to go over and visit with them, and I hadn't been able to do that for quite a while now, so that's one thing that won't be tomorrow, but I am hoping for it before too long.
In Lewiston, Catherine Parrotta, News 13.